I want to talk about something that I think we all kind of knew was going to be a thing. I think we all kind of knew that this was going to happen. And it makes sense considering, well, honestly, I don't think Marvel really had a plan for it. Because even Paul Rudd here says that a sequel to Ant-Man and the Wasp might not happen. I don't think anyone here is surprised by that at all. I don't think anyone here is very surprised by that. Now it says here, after a very long wait, the UK is finally able to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. The superhero adventure came to cinemas nearly a month after it opened around the world, which that's weird. Just to kind of start off with that, why would the UK get Ant-Man and the Wasp at a later date? That's odd to me. Anyway, it says, since the film's release, it's attracted critical acclaim and reportedly performed better financially than the original Ant-Man. Given Marvel Studios' domination of the multiplexes, many fans might assume that another film in the franchise is assured. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that is true at all. The movie was good. I very much enjoyed it, but at the same time, Ant-Man and the Wasp just kind of felt like a placeholder film for a better movie, right? It just kind of felt like it could have been fine as like an hour-long short film that they then used to tie in to Avengers 4 as well as maybe Ant-Man 3. I don't know what they've got planned. But ultimately, as far as sequels go, while fun, it had as little impact on anything probably as God, what? Thor in the Dark World at least had Aether, right? At least it had the soul. At least it had that particular thing, the Reality Stone. Anyway, goes on to say here that according to lead actor Paul Rudd, that's not the case. And with Ant-Man's star, who plays the thief-turned-miniature hero Scott Lang, revealing to Radio Times that there might never be a follow-up to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Which to some people out there, and here's the thing, is like I love Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd as the character. I really like the first movie. I love his cameo appearance in Civil War. I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm looking forward to him being in Avengers 4. I'm having trouble seeing where they could take the franchise necessarily, because he comes across as one of those middling characters that really only needs to appear in like one origin film and then the rest of the time straight up in an ensemble, and that would be fine. That would be absolutely fine. Now, Paul Rudd here says, I don't know what the plan is, and I haven't really asked because I don't want to put too much thought into it in case, well, what if there isn't? He goes on to say that there are a couple of ideas for a sequel, but I'd hate to go into any specifics, even though that is what you want, because it might not happen. Rumors have been circling for some time that the solo Ant-Man movies may not have another outing, as the first film is one of Marvel's lowest performing titles, though still fairly successful in real terms, while other characters like Black Panther and Spider-Man continue to blow away the box office. Well, no, Black Panther blew away the box office. Black Panther absolutely blew away the box office. Spider-Man Homecoming did okay. It did about what Guardians of the Galaxy made. And I think maybe a bit more than the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and also right around how much Wonder Woman did. So it wasn't, I mean, we're still talking like north of like, I think like 700, 800 million. So that's not like it's, not like it's not financially profitable. I'm just saying in regards to like the 1.3 billion that Black Panther took in, it's, like, a little less than half. So trying to put them in the same sentence it's still, I don't know. It's one of those things that doesn't make a lot of sense here. It says here, however, the increased performance of the sequel Ant-Man and the Wasp, even without certain foreign markets thanks to its staggered delay, has led some to assume the future of the franchise was secure. As it turns out, that's not the case, though that doesn't mean Rudd or Ant-Man and the Wasp director Peyton Reed are giving up on it. Paul Rudd here says, Peyton and I have had conversations and things, which sounds like a complete Paul Rudd statement to make, going on to say, let's worry about this one right now, but wheels are always turning. Even on the first one, we were kind of thinking a little bit about what we might do in this one. So essentially, Paul Rudd is saying, like, look, we didn't really have any plans to do, to get a sequel. Marvel gave us a sequel. We may not get another sequel. And let's take a look here just at what Box Office Mojo says in regards to the Ant-Man series. Now, Ant-Man came out in July 17th, 2015, right? And it grossed $180 million domestic. And, that's what it did just here domestic and whatnot. But for foreign, I think it did around 513 or something worldwide. So Ant-Man and the Wasp domestic has actually grossed more than the first one. So that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. 3 years later in total it's grossed more overall. So that's not bad at all. But I don't know. It's still here. Ant-Man was it Ant-Man total worldwide unadjusted 519 million. Ant-Man and the Wasp $400 million. Now, granted, it hasn't hit all of its markets yet. It may come up to encroaching that number. I don't quite know, but I don't see Ant-Man and the Wasp. I just don't see Ant-Man and the Wasp getting themselves a third film, right? I just don't see it. And this has a lot to do with the fact that the movie itself didn't really feel like a sequel. It felt like not a sequel. It just felt like a just a side story, like DLC to a video game sort of thing, right? And I know I have a feeling that when we see Avengers 4, and obviously Ant-Man is going to play a very large part in that, which I'm very excited for. When we get to that point, then we're going to be able to see everything play out, and maybe they're going to do some stuff in that's going to make Ant-Man and the Wasp, in retrospect, a much better film. They're going to tie into a bunch of stuff. But the thing is it was in San Francisco. Goliath was in it, which was pretty cool. That they had that character. I mean, maybe he didn't, actually play the hero part, but still referencing it was pretty dope. And then you had the Ghost, whatever the bad guy's name was, whatever that woman's name was. But even the bad guy in Ant-Man and the Wasp was really Walter Goggins, and it was just it was kind of wasted Walter Goggins. It's this is Walter freaking Goggins. This is great. He's a great actor, but no, they made him some kind of I never got any kind of fear or terror out of this guy, right? I just never did. It just didn't really do it for me in the long term. Not to say that I'm not going to watch the movie again. 100% going to watch it again. 100% going to buy it when it comes out because it's part of the collection for one, and two, I legitimately enjoyed it. And I think these are movies you go to. I think the Ant-Man movies are the ones you go to when you just want a non-threatening Avenger. You watch Ant-Man 1, you watch Ant-Man 2, when you're feeling like watching a superhero movie and you don't want to worry about the plot, you don't really want to worry about connection to the larger, greater cinematic universe. You don't want none of that. And you end up finding yourselves in this position right here. That's the way I see it, at least here. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a patron today for just $1 per month over at patreon.com/mundanemat.